And we are starting today with some truly heartbreaking news as WWE superstar Bray Wyatt has died at the age of 36. On Twitter, WWE CCO Paul Triple H Levesque confirmed the shocking news, saying he had been informed of Bray's passing by Bray's father, Mike IRS Rotunda. Triple H wrote, "Just received a call from WWE Hall of Famer Mike Rotunda, who informed us of the tragic news that our WWE family member for life, Wyndham Rotunda, also known as Bray Wyatt, unexpectedly passed earlier today. Our thoughts are with his family, and we ask that everyone respect their privacy at this time." Wyatt, real name Wyndham Lawrence Rotunda, was born in 1987 and became a two-time Universal Champion, one-time WWE Champion, and one-time SmackDown Tag Team Champion. Wyatt had been seen in a fan video just a couple of weeks back and seemed happy as he fulfilled a fan's request for an autograph, and this news has rocked the wrestling community. Sean Ross Sapp took to Twitter with the permission of the Rotunda family to disclose that Wyatt had a battle with COVID that exacerbated a heart issue. Sapp added that while there was a lot of positive progress and a return to TV seemed likely, it was a heart attack suffered today that ended his life. The wrestling world wasted no time in giving their tributes to Wyatt, with The Rock stating that he is heartbroken over the news, especially as it comes so soon after the passing of Terry Funk. William Regal was devastated to learn of Bray's passing and offered his condolences to the Rotunda family, while NXT's Dijak described Wyatt as a lovely man to be around who loved his family. Rhea Ripley said that she is simply lost for words, while Big E recalled Wyatt taking the New Day star under his wing when he first got signed with WWE in 2009. Big E added that he is praying for Bray's family, including JoJo Offerman, who he got engaged to last year, and their two children, a son born in 2019 and their daughter born the next year. Alexa Bliss, who worked with Wyatt for some time prior to his WWE release in 2021, said she is extremely heartbroken to lose an amazing human and shared a backstage photo of herself and Bray. Several promotions have also paid tribute to Wyatt, with WWE putting out a special tribute to the man on Peacock and AEW releasing their own tribute to the late superstar. As for what's next, PW Insider reports that WWE intends to take care of the Rotunda family, saying that any money raised from Wyatt merch will go to his family. This is a highly honorable move from WWE and allows fans to help support the Rotunda family in this sad time, while also getting some merchandise of the incredibly talented performer. PW Insider added that for fans wanting to support JoJo, their kids, and the other members of his family, this is the first official way to do so, implying there may be others down the line. On Twitter, BWE reported that things are feeling very tough right now as Wyatt's death has rocked the company and that all meetings are off until further notice. The proven WWE insider added that all plans at this time have been scrapped and said that everything is being focused on Bray right now, and also sent his best to JoJo. It was back in Extreme Rules 2022 that Wyatt returned to WWE to a massive ovation, and his return also marked the debut of Uncle Howdy, believed to be played by his brother Bo Dallas. Wyatt had been gearing up for a WrestleMania program with Bobby Lashley before he was taken off of TV due to the illness that would ultimately claim his life. This is a truly shocking and awful story, and we expect there will be more coming out in the coming days, but until then, we offer our condolences to the Rotunda family and those who knew Bray best. Within a matter of weeks, Edge's contract with WWE will expire, and at this time, there is a growing belief that the Rated R superstar will be leaving the company. This week, it was reported that Edge recently presented WWE with what he wants as part of a new deal, requests that the company turned down, but the former world champion is refuting these reports. Sharing a video online, Edge said he woke up to a ton of phone calls asking him about his WWE future, as well as the report of him making demands. Edge said that he never made any crazy contract requests, adding that no matter what happens next, that there are no hard feelings between himself and WWE. Speaking about rumors of a retirement, Edge said that it'll be a very tough decision, and tougher than his retirement in 2011 when he had no choice in the matter. Edge added that his match with Sheamus was the most special night of his career, and is fine with the prospect of last week's SmackDown being the home of his final ever match. There are still weeks to go before Edge's contract expires, so a new deal could be reached in that time. And do you want him to stay in WWE or go to AEW? Let us know in the comments. Now next month, the deal between WWE and Endeavor is expected to be finalized, as Vince McMahon's promotion and the UFC will soon be merged into one company. The new company, TKO Group Holdings, will feature a board of directors from both WWE and Endeavor, but Triple H won't have a seat at the table. Triple H has spent years as part of WWE's board, so for him to not be on the next board is a huge change of direction, but the game isn't too concerned about that right now. During the Click This podcast, Kevin Nash said the attitude he gets from his friend is that Triple H just wants this merger to be complete and isn't upset about being snubbed. Nash added that Triple H is just happy to do his job as head of talent and head of creative, and the two briefly talked recently about the success of SummerSlam 2023. Within weeks, the era of the McMahons being in control of WWE will end, and while this change is huge, Triple H isn't losing any sleep about not being on the board of directors. The only thing we know for certain about TKO Group Holdings is that it will be a monumental change to how WWE has done business, and that has left some fearing for the future. Earlier this week, it was reported that there is a sense of doom among those internally within WWE, with some employees already dusting off their resumes and applying for new work. The belief is that unless you're directly linked to talent or with production, you could soon find a pink slip in your hand, but there's now been an update about this situation. Sources who spoke to Ringside News said that the sense of doom reports are somewhat exaggerated, but that there are some who are preparing for a worst-case situation. Nick Khan has said that he expects to make at least $50 million in aggressive cuts following the merger with UFC, but has said that what fans see on screen won't be affected by these changes. Ultimately, mergers typically come with firings, and this situation is unlikely to be any different, as WWE will be a very different company to be working for in just a few months' time. Next month, WWE will host its Superstar Spectacle in India, the first event in the subcontinent in 6 years. The show will feature some of the top names in WWE, with John Cena having already been announced for the event, and fans in India will be able to see some homegrown superstars. According to Sportskeeda, Jinder Mahal has confirmed that Indus Sher won't just be competing at Superstar Spectacle, but they'll be challenging for the undisputed tag team titles on the show. It was during this week's Raw that Kevin Owens returned to TV after a rib injury had sidelined him for weeks, an injury that meant the tag team titles weren't defended at SummerSlam. As for Indus Sher, they've been missing from Raw since the June 19th episode over 2 months ago, but did compete on WWE Main Event earlier this month. WWE wants to make a huge impression with the Superstar Spectacle, and could that mean that Indus Sher will dethrone Owens and Sami Zayn? Sound off in the comments below. This weekend, AEW World Champion MJF will put his title on the line against Adam Cole, but the two will also be challenging for the ROH World Tag Team Championships on the 0 Hour pre-show. MJF is clearly the top star of AEW, and with good reason, and now the champ has scored himself another film role. In a press release, Warner Bros. Discovery Home Entertainment disclosed that MJF will lend his voice for the upcoming Justice League x Ruby Superheroes and Huntsmen Part 2 animated film. There's no word on what role from either the world of DC Comics or the popular Rooster Teeth created anime MJF will be playing, but this is another major film role for the world champion. Fans won't have to wait long to hear MJF's performance, as the film, a sequel to the first Justice League Ruby crossover, will release digitally on October 17th and in physical copies on the 31st. In addition to this film, MJF will be part of A24's much-anticipated The Iron Claw, based off of the Von Erich family, as Hollywood very much has its eyes on the reigning AEW World Champion. Whether you like him or not, Hulk Hogan will go down in history as one of the most significant wrestlers, if not the most significant of all time, with his charisma helping change the industry. Despite being a multi-time champion though, Hogan has often embellished his career, making up fake stories to seem even greater, many of which are easily disproven. Now the Hulkster is back at it again, as during a sit-down with Muscle and Fitness, Hogan had a lot to say, and only a small portion of which was anything close to the truth. In the interview, Hogan added to his already dubious story from SummerSlam 1992, where he claimed he was able to secure tickets for a Make-A-Wish family before he competed in Wembley. Anyone who's seen SummerSlam 92 will know that Hogan didn't wrestle, and in the updated version, Hogan said that there were many Make-A-Wish kids at the show, and one died at the event. This kid wouldn't die until Hogan was able to say his goodbyes with a hug and a kiss to his forehead, and it was Hulk himself that scored the family ringside seats, at least according to Hogan. After learning of the kid's passing at SummerSlam, Hogan and Jimmy Hart teamed with Simon Cowell to help make the wrestling album and would donate their money from the record to the family. It's quite a nice story, and we do mean story, as Hogan didn't compete at SummerSlam 1992, and there's never been any reports of a child dying at the event, and the wrestling album supposedly made in memory of this youngster was released 7 years earlier in 1985. As to why the legendary Hogan needs to add fake stories to his epic career, no one but him will ever know, but even out of the ring, the Hulkster has proven to be quite a storyteller in recent years. Since leaving WWE in 2016, Ryback Reeves has seemingly gone out of his way to burn every bridge he's had in wrestling, especially any he may still have had with WWE. In 2013, Ryback was aligned on screen with Paul Heyman, who many consider one of the greatest managers alive, but this week, the big guy took aim at his former associate. Ryback, who has an entire self-help book chapter about how wrong bullying is, took to social media to mock Heyman, saying he is disgusted by Paul's appearance and called him a piece of Ryback said he'd love to do nothing all day like Heyman apparently does, and claimed that Brock Lesnar feeds the legendary manager entire pizzas in another crass and inflammatory remark. While Paul Heyman will be looking ahead to WrestleMania 40 and his continued efforts with Roman Reigns, Ryback will continue to film himself eating food in his car, but that won't cause the former superstar to reflect on which of them is actually a success. Last year, Pat McAfee stepped away from the SmackDown commentary table to